is neither a tip nor a trick. It is simply me sharing something with you which I've bought recently, and I think you need this in your life. If you can get it, you need this in your life. It's a new monitor which I've recently bought, and I did buy it. I haven't been sent it, so this isn't like a sponsored video where I've got to say nice things because I've been given something for free. No, I bought this. This is purely me thinking, hey, I do a CAD channel. This is meant for CAD, so I'll share it with you. It's a new monitor. And you might be thinking, a monitor? A fucking monitor, really? We've got I need your graphics card, and your processor, and more RAM. What's a monitor? A monitor's just a monitor. No, it's not. No, it's not. Not when you see this thing. Are you ready for this? Be prepared to be blown away in the turbulence of its magnificence. Look at that. Look at that. It's bigger than a cow's testicle. It's huge. Absolutely huge. Right, I'm going to move the phone. Apologies for the shaky Stevens and the dodgy audio. Look at that thing. It is ridiculously big. It is the LG 34UC97C, and it is a 34-inch ultra-wide monitor. In comparison, that's a 17-inch laptop. And then look at the size of this thing. It's an absolute beast. It's huge. Now, I'm not going to do a review. I found this monitor through a review. There are loads of reviews already online for this thing, if you want the tech specs on it. But if for CAD, honestly, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but in the world of CAD, I don't care about contrast ratios, color saturation, backlight quality, gamma, all that kind of crap. It is amazing. No doubt about it. The quality of the panel is brilliant. But for CAD, all we care about is space, screen space. And look at this. Here's Inventor. Look at that. How can you not want that? It's so good. It's so good. So there's the browser on the left-hand side, just fading away, just being dwarfed by the screen. I can read all the component names, all the constraints, all the patterns. They're all perfectly readable. And then just the amount of space you have here to get shit done is just unreal. The ribbon bar along the top it's all perfectly readable because we're running at I'll get to it later, but we're running at a resolution which is very, very workable. So everything is really readable, and the quality of the graphics is just so good. The quality of the panel, I mean, you can zoom in and you can see the quality of the textures are just crisp and delightful, delicious. You just got so much space to work with. Oh, it's amazing. So that's Inventor. That's what Inventor looks like on this kind of display. And let's look at AutoCAD, just for those that have AutoCAD and like to work with AutoCAD. Look at that. Look at the space you've got to work with here. It's just phenomenal. It's amazing. Now the panel, I'm looking at the screen on the phone and I can see there's a lot of glare on the panel. I can't see that glare in real life. That's just the camera picking up. I've got a window there. So that's just the camera picking up the glare off that window. But in the dark, this screen is just delicious and so juicy. So yeah, that's Inventor and AutoCAD maximized on this wonderful display. Now a couple more characteristics of the display. It is curved. If we look top down, you can see it's got a very slight subtle curve to it. That's a selling point of this particular monitor, and it doesn't distort CAD in any way. Don't think that it does, because it doesn't. It doesn't distort any of your lines when you're sketching. It doesn't make a straight line look curved, nothing like that. It just doesn't. So yeah, it's a curved display. This particular model, now you can get, LG do a range of widescreen, ultra-wide displays, and this particular one is the one with the non-adjustable height, the non-height adjustable stand. So the stand itself is just like a matte kind of aluminium finish, and if we look down at the back of the monitor, it doesn't have any height adjustable options there at the back. It can sort of, I'm not going to bother, but it can sort of swivel like that, so you can move it up and down a little bit, but it won't move up and down. It doesn't go into landscape mode and portrait mode. But I don't care. I don't really care. The height of it is just perfect, so I don't need to move it up and down. They do a model that you can move up and down, but I intentionally didn't go for that one because I like the aesthetic of that stand. So, but what we really care about in CAD is the amount of space that we've got. And I want to do just a quick demonstration for you here, because you might be thinking to yourself, well, hang on a minute, when you started your video, Neil, when you started your video, I noticed that there was a telly right behind you. Indeed there is. That's a 42-inch telly. Now, why would I go for that when I've got that? Right, well, let's just show you something. That telly it's a full HD telly. It's 1080p. And what I'm going to do is just a very quick demonstration. Let's open up Inventor. All right, and then I'm going to drag this. I'm going to drag it across over to the telly. All right. So there's Inventor on the telly. Now immediately you've got the illusion of space, but that's 1080p. In terms of pixels, you've got 1920 pixels that way and 1080 pixels that way. Now, you've just lost a load of screen space by running Inventor on that size of a display. So I've just undocked Inventor from the from being maximized, so you can see it's floating around. It's floating around at 1080. Well, it's not quite full HD because you've got sort of the bit for the taskbar at the bottom. But what I'm going to now do is move this window back over to the widescreen display, and then what you're looking at is the size that Inventor runs at on 1080p, on your typical 1080p monitor. And then look at the rest of the space you've got to play with. So on that 42-inch screen, that's how much screen space I had for working on Inventor. And then look at the rest of the screen we've got on this 34-inch widescreen monitor. It's just ridiculous. It puts it into perspective when you think, well, you know, the bigger the display doesn't mean the more screen space. It's the illusion of space. Because that TV there, apologies, I'm moving this camera around a lot, but that TV there has exactly the same screen space as that laptop. They're both 1080p. They both can display the same amount of pixels. It's just that's magnified, and that doesn't give you more space. It's the illusion of space. So this monitor is just perfect. You can either run Inventor maximized like that and just have oodles of space to work with, or you can dock it. You can dock Inventor on that side, and then you can have something else on this side. And just look at that. The monitor comes with software as well called LG Screen Split, something like that it's called, and it lets you section your monitor into like either 2 or 4 or 8 different sections, and you can run like, or even 3. It'll like split documents up, and you can work with like 3 or 4 different Word documents sort of split across the screen, and it just saves that like thing where you've got to flick between applications all the time if you like having multiple windows open. It's just so good for that kind of thing. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm not going to do a full review on it because we don't really care about what specs what it's got. If you do care about its specs, there's plenty of reviews. I found this particular monitor online as Tech Tips. Go and check out his YouTube channel. He's got plenty of reviews on this monitor on his channel. That's how I found out about it. But hopefully, if you're watching this, you might have just found about it on my channel. And I give it a big, huge thumbs up, seal of approval for CAD. This thing is just so beefy. It is a beast. I love it. So if you're in a position to be able to get something like this, I highly recommend that you do, because for CAD, it is just wonderful. All right then, so that's pretty much it. I think that should be it. Oh, no, I was going to talk about, because it's, right, 4K, right? I'm just going to address this, because there may be people who go, oh, why do you go 4K? It seems just so close to 4K isn't, I don't think 4K is going to be a thing. You know, of course it's a thing. Of course it's a thing. They're selling it. Yeah, but 4K has been around for years, and it just hasn't. The adoption of 4K just hasn't happened. 1080p, 4K is the new 1080p, and 1080p was adopted just across the board. 4K hasn't been, and there's a number of different reasons for that. Firstly, in terms of visual displays like TVs, the broadcasters, you know, TV broadcasters, the film broadcasters, they're not putting out a lot of 4K content, so people don't have the need or the justification there to go and purchase a 4K display. So it's just, why buy a 4K? That's exactly why I didn't buy a 4K telly. 4K tellies were around when I bought that, but I made the decision, well, I can buy a 4K telly, but I can't watch anything 4K because there's nothing being broadcasted at the time. And yeah, Netflix is starting to do it, but it's still a very, very small amount of programs, and you need just a ridiculous internet connection to actually stream 4K. So it's just, you know, especially in the UK, the internet infrastructure isn't good enough to stream 4K across the board. So that was the reason I didn't get a 4K telly, and I didn't get a 4K monitor for 2 reasons. Firstly, my PC, even though it's an absolute monster of a PC, it's got a GTX 970 in, which isn't top of the range by any stretch. You can now get, you know, in the 980 Ti's and the Titan X, you can SLI those up and get even more power. But that's still a good graphics card, and I still do not have enough power to run 4K games. And the second reason why I didn't get a 4K monitor is that I haven't looked at it personally, and this was just a gut feeling which I went on, so I could be wrong here. But from what I've heard and what I've read is that Windows at 4K makes the text scale so small that it actually hurts your eyes to read. And I might be wrong. You might, the people are, well, you can scale the text and stuff like that, but I just don't want to. I don't want to mess around with scales and, magnification of text and on-screen fonts and all that sort of stuff. I just don't want to. This is a widescreen display, so I get more horizontal space, and the resolution in terms of the text size is just perfect. So this was the perfect compromise. I don't need 4K. I don't think I'll ever will need 4K. We're already starting to see 5K displays. There was a recent announcement as well that there's an 8K display now being put into production. If they're putting into production 8K displays and 4K hasn't been adopted already, it kind of tells you the state of things, doesn't it? So that's pretty much it. That's the LG 34UC97C. And like I said, just to clarify, this wasn't a sponsored video. This is just entirely 100% my opinions, and highly recommend it for CAD. So good. Cheers, bye.